Hey, Fireboy.
What's up?
Get this. The other day, I was doing my mom a favor.
Yeah.
I went over there. I took her grill apart, cleaned everything in there, took all the gunk.
Okay.
Took all that.
How did you clean it? You scrub it, you soak it. What did we do?
I got that grill cleaner, the spray.
Yep.
I sprayed every single piece. I scraped off every loose piece of shit that was on there from the last couple of years. Thing is as spotless as you could possibly do.
Love that.
But after you do that, you then want to start the grill and let it run for like 15, 20 minutes before you use it again another
Burn
time.
off any excess chemicals.
Right.
Yeah.
So after getting a new tank, I went to turn it on. It wasn't starting, so I went to get one of those long lighters with the stem, and I hit it with that. Got a fucking fireball in the face.
Well, yeah, if you turn it on, if the tank is open and you're trying to ignite it, gas is getting fed through the line, and the ignition, the pilot, is not there. So
now,
gas is just
building. I know how a grill works.
Gas is just building, Goo.
I've started grills. Don't tell me that I haven't done that.
Okay, so you got attacked by a fireball.
Yeah, I lost a lot of arm hair.
Yep.
And then I lost my hand hair on this side. And then it fringed up my mustache.
I mean, you have enough mustache hairs to go around there. I was concerned about your eyebrows,
I wasn't concerned until you asked me about my eyebrows, and I'm like, shit, let me go check. And my eyelashes.
Yes, yeah. So luckily, I think your mustache is so thick that it protected your upper face. That's good for you.
It's like a parachute.
It's a lesson learned, I guess, right?
Beyond that, also in my parents' backyard, I play wiffle ball with my son. I got 24 wiffle balls.
Yep.
So what I do, I just fucking pepper him. I just toss him out, and he keeps on fouling them over this one fence. And now, as kids, when you would play stickball, whatever it is, you would just hop the fence and then hop back over, right?
Yeah.
People don't have easily hoppable fences anymore. They got those tall white fences.
Yep.
So I walked around the block, and for the most part, my idea was to write the address on every ball, and then if it goes over the fence, they'll just throw it back.
If found, please return to.
Yeah, please return to. But I've noticed that those people are never around. So I walked around, and there are 7 balls back there. I'm not going to lose 7 balls. Going up this long driveway, so many motion sensor cameras. I'm like, if this house gets robbed, they're going to fucking nab me.
No, you just got to announce, because there's probably a Nest camera, too. Hey, I'm just grabbing my 7 wiffle balls in your yard. But it's a good point, because vinyl fences are much more prevalent than they were when we were kids 30 years ago. But also, like, a chain link fence you can see through, and maybe a neighbor could see that you're just jumping over to get your balls. That doesn't exist as often
Nowadays,
anymore.
you're getting shot.
Yeah.
You're getting shot.
Also, you can't, like, a chain link fence, you can use the chain link to sort of propel yourself. The vinyl, you're going to kick through the panel, and now you got to replace someone's panel.
One goo, 3, yeah! Goo, Jaws 3, goo, King of Queens, goo, Meryl Streep, goo, entertainment.
I'm Goo.
And I'm Mac.
And we are the Mac and Goo program. We bring you... I like my frown better than your frown. A little bit. You're too pouty. She did a great job of, by the way, Obsession. I'm kind of obsessed specifically with that one scene. The movie in general, great. Love the movie. But the party scene of when Squirmy Wormy, that's what I call the boy, by the way, when he has the little party Jenga trick of kiss the person to your left, and it goes to her. I cannot stop thinking of her face as she stares back at not Dave Franco.
Yeah, Obsession, which Goo and I have been meaning to get around to and talk about now for a couple of weeks. We were finally doing today. I think what the best part about this movie is, Goo, is I'm having a hard time deciding what my favorite scene is in the movie, and that's usually indicative of a great movie. There's not just one standout scene. There's 2, 3, or 4 that then become a really interesting conversation about the movie, because you don't truly know what's going on the entire time, and yet it still intrigues you. Goo, Obsession, Hit theaters on May 15th. This is an R-rated horror, romance, and thriller. Subgenres here: dark romance, psychological horror, psychological thriller, supernatural horror. This is a runtime of a very crisp 108 minutes, not quite 2 hours, but not super short either. At the box office, Goo, and this is really why we're talking about it, because word of mouth has propelled this movie to 152 million domestically, up to 209 million worldwide, off of $750K. That's right, $750,000 budget.
Under $1 million.
Under $1 million. So it has made this studio an awful lot of money. Opening weekend, it made $16 million. Second weekend, it made $22.4 million. That's a 30% increase. Third weekend, $26.4 million. A 10% increase off the 30% increase. And then this past weekend, Goo, it made... Actually, I think we're maybe even missing a weekend here.
No, that's it.
Oh, okay.
It's 4.
This past weekend, it made $25.6 million, just a slight decrease from week 3, but still better than the first 2.
So the jump in week 1 to week 2, week 2 to week 3, it is the first non-holiday movie since E.T. to have the higher week over week for back-to-back weeks.
Yeah, not a lot. You see it a couple times a year, the week 1 to week 2 increase, because word of mouth and ratings. This did it 3 consecutive weeks.
And I'm not going to lie, I'm almost more impressed by week 4, pretty much holding level.
Still better than the first 2 weeks. Yeah, it's fucking insane. And so this movie, Goo, is written and directed by Curry Barker. I don't think anyone really knows him by name. You might recognize his face from some social media stuff, his YouTube channel. If you liked Obsession, Goo, he's got 2 upcoming projects. The first is Anything But Ghosts. That's going to be a 2027 comedy horror movie. And then he's also signed on for the Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
I don't want that one.
Remake, redo, whatever.
Come on.
That's in pre-production.
Although, get your money. Get your money.
Sure. Goo, Anything But Ghosts synopsis. 2 fake paranormal investigators must face actual ghosts while dealing with the deception of their own fraudulent business. I like that premise. I like that idea. And his background is comedy, so that might be pretty fun.
Yeah, because even with this movie, there really isn't any horror to it until we hit the third act.
It's pretty fucking creepy. It's pretty creepy.
It definitely has some creepy moments, but it's not full-on horror. I would say it almost dabbles more in comedy than it does horror.
Yeah, but at the same time, the creepiness in this movie makes me more uncomfortable and afraid than, like, most other horror elements. So in that respect, it is, like, a pretty good horror movie.
And also, some of the stuff that he does to add that spookiness, add that darkness to it, it's very good camera work.
Yeah.
Where it's almost he's reversing the play of someone walking forward as opposed to having them walk backwards. He just takes that film and zoop, 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 zoop. And it kind of like, it glides.
Yes.
Goo,
Obsession. On Roddy T's, 95% from the critics, 94% from the audience. That keeps going back and forth. It's been dual 95s multiple times. On Metacritic, a 77. So everyone is liking this, borderline loving it. Synopsis. After breaking the mysterious one Wish Willow to win his crush's heart, a hopeless romantic finds himself getting exactly what he asked for, but soon discovers that some desires come at a dark, sinister price. This movie stars Michael Johnston as Bear, that's the fella that makes the wish. Inde Navarrette as Nikki. She is the crush, I guess, for lack of a better term.
Let her win an award.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome in this.
She's awesome in this.
And so is Michael Johnston. Inde Navarrette, I've never seen her in anything. Apparently, she was in many episodes of Superman and Lois.
Oh, cool.
So maybe that's worth
You know what
out.
she loves? You know what she wants to be in?
What's that?
A Jackass movie.
I love that. Love that for her.
But she's upset because the series is ending.
Sure. Goo, other characters that play here, there's not many. Not many you need to know anyways. Cooper Tomlinson as Ian.
That's not Clark Duke.
He is the co-creator of the YouTube channel that Barker also created.
So while I appreciate, and people have pointed this out, Barker is bringing his friend along. He's bringing his buddy along. He's sharing the success. Having watched the YouTube channel and seeing how Cooper Tomlinson is in the YouTube channel, because he's always like, he's the complainer. He's
Sure.
like, oh, what are we doing? This is literally lots of literallys. I think I have in my head now that I don't like him. So he sticks out to me in this movie as someone that I do not like heading into it.
I did not have that issue.
Okay.
I have seen a lot less of their YouTube stuff, so I did not have
I don't
that
care
issue.
for it.
We also had Megan Lawless as Sarah.
Nice.
Andy Richter as
Woo!
Carter. He's
Andy Richter!
He's the boss, and I think he
Yeah.
might even be Sarah's dad
I think
or
it
something
is, yeah.
like that.
Yep.
And then we also have Curry Barker as the One Wish Willow customer service voice you hear on the
Yeah.
phone call. And then Darren Tunder as Harry. He's the shop worker once Bear goes back and is looking for more One Wish Willows, and he's the one that tells him to call the customer service number. Goo, a little background about Barker here, and it is significant because this movie has become such a great success. I think it's worth diving into this. So that YouTube channel we discussed briefly is called That's a Bad Idea. Once again, co-created by Cooper Tomlinson. And so Barker uploaded a short horror film called The Chair to that channel in 2023, which got the attention of Hollywood, specifically producer James Harris, who wanted him to adapt that into a feature-length film. Instead, Barker took that opportunity to pitch him Obsession, which is a distinct idea. It's nothing like The Chair, that he says is heavily influenced by an episode of The Simpsons, which is
Treehouse of Horror, Monkey Paw.
the Monkey Paw. Yep.
Yeah.
And so eventually this gets greenlit, and they shoot this film over 20 days in L.A. in October of 2024 for the aforementioned $750,000. This is Barker's second feature-length film after Milk and Cereal. Spelled like serial killer. But this was the first to be released in theaters. In fact, it was released at Toronto International Film Festival in the fall of last year, and then Focus Features acquired the distribution rights for somewhere between 14 and 15 million, the highest price ever commanded by a genre film in Toronto International Film Festival history. They also had Jason Blum come aboard as an executive producer under Blumhouse Productions, and it has become Focus Features' highest-grossing film of all time, and currently the 10th highest-grossing film of 2026, and it's just going to keep going further and further up that list.
No, and we've talked about like how have we seen in the past other movies, because it's really once a decade that you see a movie like this where it comes out of nowhere and the buzz around it's crazy, and it keeps on building and building, especially with its box office. The first one that comes to my mind is the Blair Witch Project. On a budget of nothing, made a crazy amount of money in the late 90s, but that had a different kind of, it wasn't social media at the time, but like an internet push that made you believe that the story might be real.
Yeah. So when I finished this, you had watched it a day or two before me.
Yeah.
And then when I watched this movie and then was thinking about the cultural impact, I was like, man, I don't really remember something like this. And then you pointed out a good one, which I think is more comparable than the Blair Witch Project, was Paranormal Activity in 2009.
So I only pointed that out because this movie just passed that movie in box office earnings. And I'm like, oh, that's pretty similar, actually.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
you know, not exactly the same type of horror, but a little bit similar. But that wasn't as beloved as this one's being touted.
That one got 6 sequels.
It's true. That movie, Goo, was shot for $15,000 originally, and then once it was bought by Paramount, they gave them $200,000 to reshoot the ending and made it a little more spectacular. That earned $108 million at the U.S. box office and just under $200 million worldwide. So, to your point, that's already been surpassed by this, and that has been cited as the most profitable film ever. And yes, it did cost less than Obsession, but you know, inflation, yada yada. I'm sure it's pretty similar actual cost, and this has already made more. So I think you can start calling Obsession the most profitable film.
So
ever.
you're telling me that $1 now is worth a different amount than $1 in the past?
That's what I'm saying, Goo. I don't think you could aptly describe this movie as Blair Witch Project like or Paranormal Activity
I'm
like.
not saying,
but
I'm saying more in its cultural relevance.
100%, yeah. But
not
that's
movie-wise.
No.
No.
What this movie feels like to me, Goo, these are the two movies that I feel like it's similar to. Not similar to, but a combination, dashes of them. It feels like It Follows and Misery had a baby and made Obsession with a little bit of a dash of Audition, that Korean or Japanese film that's really gross.
Yeah.
And a little bit of Hereditary in here, Goo, too, with Nikki's movements and stuff like that.
Yeah.
It's pulled from a lot of really great horror movies and horror elements, and the story is pretty simple. So the script is pretty simple.
Yep.
But it's the performances of Michael Johnston as Bear and Inde Navarrette as Nikki that really make this whole thing go.
Yeah, and when we get to the end of the year, I feel like this movie is going to be nominated for several Mac and Goo Awards, Cinemac and Goovy Awards. And Inde Navarrette, I think right now, is at the forefront of charming our pants off.
Yeah, and I mean, you can't. She's clearly the shining star coming out of this, the breakout star coming out of this. But you wouldn't be able to pull this off, even with as good as she is, without Michael Johnston being like such a shitbag loser type of character.
Yes, and also what I like about him is that he is so anxious the entire movie.
Yeah.
That at even when he's at his is he ever really happy? But if he at his happiest, you still feel gross with him.
Yeah, he's really the villain of the whole movie,
yeah.
right?
Easily.
And that's what at the end of it, that's sort of where you're coming around to. And we'll be spoiler free here for another couple minutes, but that's one of your bigger takeaways at the end of this movie. Is I think he's really the bad guy.
I mean,
here.
it's not really at the end of the movie. It's pretty early on. You're like, okay.
About halfway through, you're like, oh, he's not trying to really better this situation.
No, he's okay with what's happening.
Yeah.
He's okay with it. So also, I mentioned awards. His buddy, not Bradley Cooper. What's his buddy's name?
Cooper Tomlinson.
Not LaDainian Tomlinson.
Not LaDainian, yes.
You take those two. You take Bradley Cooper and LaDainian Tomlinson. They make a baby, and you have his friend in this movie. He is going to win the first ever not Clark Duke Award.
Right.
Or next Clark Duke Award.
To be given annually, possibly.
If this movie was made 20 years ago, it would have starred Dave Franco and Clark Duke.
It's not bad.
And then fill in the blank on anybody else.
Sure.
Once you have those two, the money prints itself.
You're good to go at that
point. I also, one of my favorite, was it in the trailers or not? But there's a scene, and I guess we'll just jump into this. Fun factor, nonagon, all of this stuff. There's so much fun they do a great job of they see something, they react, and then you see what they're looking at. So there's a scene where he sees that she has duct taped the door shut.
Yeah.
And the visual of the duct tape fucking killed me.
Yeah, you're right. That was hilarious and terrifying.
Yeah.
But and that's why this movie works as a horror movie so well. It's so creepy. There's 3 or 4 scenes where your anticipation of what we're about to see makes you super anxious. You're like, oh, what the fuck is going on here? Because you're hearing a lot of noises, you're hearing dialogue, but you don't necessarily see the thing that the characters are reacting to.
And then, of course, if you watch and you look in the background, you'll see her randomly outside of a window sometimes.
Yeah,
you'll see her staring at them from way, way beyond.
She walks behind him at one point, halfway through the movie, and I was like, oh, fuck.
There's a few things in here. The party scene is my favorite scene of the year so far. Her frown, her pulling her friend back, the frown. I can't stop thinking about the frown. It's so fucking good. And I love it anytime in this movie where she starts to repeat herself like she's broken.
Yeah.
She does it at the party. She does it on the date. She does it near the end of the movie. It's your fault. It's your fault. It's your fault. And they do a good job, and we'll talk about it in spoilers because I don't want to spoil any of it, but they do a good job showing cracks.
Yes.
I'm not talking about Max cracks.
Yeah. So in that sense too, there's a little bit of a Get Out dash in there as well.
A little Get Out.
Yeah, a little bit of that.
Actually, this movie does have a lot of the cultural Get Out didn't, it wasn't from a small budget, but it was from a guy who came from comedy and kind of had that lightheartedness while still doing this super dark topic.
Good point. Yeah. I think I liked Get Out a little bit more than this, but it's a good conversation. That's how good this movie is.
This movie's great.
Yeah.
Satisfactor. I like how it's messy, but I think they could have had a more satisfactory ending.
I agree with you. I think the only moment in which this movie lacks, even though it may be fitting for the character of Bear, is the conclusion.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted maybe a little bit more of a stamp on the end of this movie.
Yeah.
But I also think it works. Like it and you know I'm a sucker for a great ending, a great finale, Goo. So I do think it didn't stumble across the finish line here. It didn't trip.
No.
I do think that it's the weakest part of the movie is the ending. But
I
it
agree.
also leads to, because of what you see with Nikki at the end, that's maybe keeping this movie alive too, with the discussion of what really transpired.
Borometer, I won't say the beginning is boring, but it might be because him and his friends are all very awkward together.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe that just plays into like, he's a weird dude.
Yeah.
But it's very awkward conversation.
Yeah, it's dark, it's awkward. I think it's necessary to really understand the group dynamic and the characters. It really shows that they're not losers, but they're like,
And
they
also,
don't have a ton of friends.
Like, also, are they really friends, or is it they're coworkers so they hang out?
Yeah, that sort of thing. And it is that part exists to show you the Bear and Nikki dynamic.
Yeah.
Because it's like he's really hopeful that he gets to hang out with her, spend time with her, and she's just like, yeah, sure, he'll drive me home.
Brother, sister.
Yeah.
Halloween, will this movie wane over time? I mean, everyone has it so high up right now that, sure, people are eventually going to pick at it. And just wait until the Wayans brothers get their hands on this and everyone notices, maybe it's not that great.
It's gone up a dog since I've seen it.
Okay.
Maybe 2. That's where I'm at. So I love this movie.
Yeah.
I wasn't sure if I loved it when I finished it. And now that a couple days have passed, I loved it. And I want people to see it so I can talk to them about it.
Waterworld, is this better or worse than the 1995 classic Waterworld? It is better.
Get that going out of my face.
When life gives you a gentleman by the name of Jesse Plemons and he squeezes all that good stuff all over you, is there anyone in this movie that does the same, takes that little bit, and gives you a lot back?
Yeah, so this is hard because the movie really only has 4 central characters, 2 of
Andy
which...
Richter, who's just there. Credit to Andy Richter.
I'll say Curry Barker as the customer service guy on the phone
he is
call.
good in that role.
That phone call for me is what pumped the movie up to the next level. It's great.
Max Credit Union. Who are you giving credit to?
Obviously, Inde Navarrette deserves all of the flowers she's getting here as Nikki. She's amazing here. But I still want to give Michael Johnston as Bear his flowers, too, because it doesn't work without him being such a fucking, like, sad sack loser type character. And him, it's so believable the way he plays it, and it's so necessary to have that dynamic.
I also, so if we had a bouquet, I would give her like 8 of the
to 9
dozen
flowers. Yeah.
How about this? Let's give her 7 of the dozen.
Okay.
Let's give Curry Barker
2.
No, let's give him
3.
I'm doing math in my head right now. I'm having a tough time.
You got 5. You got 5 roses left.
I'm gonna give him 4, and then I'll give Bear 1.
All right, good enough.
He still gets a flower.
7-5-1.
Yeah.
All right.
Pants Tent City. Excite Bike Mania. What got you going in this movie? It's the party scene for me. That got me. I loved every second of sitting in that weird, her poem.
I'm on your
her
left.
frown. I'm on your left. It was hilarious. It was creepy.
Mm-hmm.
The first part of like, I want to sit next to Nikki. I'm like, I don't think you do. I don't think you do want to sit next to Nikki.
Yeah, and that's like maybe 4th or 5th on my list of scenes that really made this pop for me. It's a great one.
I think that's what pops, man.
They like I said, the customer service phone call turns everything around when you're like, wait, what's going on here? Because like the scream in the background, the creepy movements that turn it into Hereditary-ish, which was the best part of Hereditary, is great. And then obviously the steering wheel scene, which you knew something like that was coming.
Yeah.
But the way it happens was fucking awesome.
It's your fault, Mac. Pants Tent City. We just did that one. For those of you tardy to the Mac and Goo party, we rate everything on a 40 hot dog rating system. Mac, we've been gushing for 25 minutes about this movie, and I still feel like it deserves more. It does so much with so little. I feel like all of the characters, all the actors nail exactly what they have to do for that character type, because while we don't get the deepest look into really any of them, we get just enough. We don't need all this backstory. It's pretty much on the surface. This is what you get. And I fucking loved it. I loved like I mentioned, the party scene. I liked the ending. I thought we could have done something a little bit different that might take a dog away from it. I love the camera work in this. I love the sneakiness in the background of trying to pick up little things. I love him living in his grandmother's house. I feel like that adds to it as well. It does add something to the end. But 38 hot dogs?
Go.
Yeah.
Go. Oh, wow. So that's your number one movie on the year, yes?
Easily number one.
Yeah. I think in the discussion for best movie of the year coming into this for me was Project Hail Mary and 28 Years Later to the Bone Temple. Those are my top two.
Yeah.
And you teased for me that this was your favorite movie of the year after seeing it. And I wasn't sure at first if it was, but when I immediately afterwards, I was like, that's at least like a 36 dogger. And as I sit here in front of you today, Goo, in the year of our Lord 2026,
yes,
I too have this at 38 hot dogs. 37, I was thinking, the more I'm thinking about it, I think it's at 38 because I want people to see it so much. So not quite a 40 dogger. Doesn't have that pizzazz at the end that I so very much crave. But the conversation and everything surrounding this movie, it's nearly impossible not to have it up this high.
And all that conversation is deserved.
Yeah, and that's really what's driving my love for this movie is the end of this movie and everything that happens post phone call when you start to think, wait, what's really going on here? And then at the end with Nikki, you're like, oh, there's like a whole leveled, layered situation here that is a really interesting discussion to have. So 38 hot dogs, number one movie of the year with a bullet so far for Mac and Goo.
All right, let's get to spoilers.
Spoilers.
So we'll start this off first off. Curry Barker has said after this, and people have started to post this, that you'll probably see a news report in one of his other movies that Nikki's in prison.
Yeah, that makes sense. You know, I think they're going to be able to blame a lot of shit on Bear. Bear takes his own life, so you can be like, he did a lot of this, but she's tied into a lot of it as well, so she's naturally going to get some of this.
And this might have been too clean of an ending, but allowing him to take his own life, it seems like he didn't suffer as much as she did, but I almost would have preferred if after she wished that he fucking loved her more than anyone else in the world, when he was snapped into that, I almost wish that he was stuck in that purgatory that she was stuck in for the rest of his life.
Yeah, I get that, and I think it would have been a fitting punishment.
Yeah.
What I'm wrestling with here, and I might end up liking this ending more than I think right now.
Mm-hmm.
He's so fucked in the head. The obvious solution about 2/3 of the way through this movie is you kill Nikki. You just fucking kill Nikki. But he's
responsible for doing that to her, though.
Yes, for sure, which he's living with that guilt. But he also loves, to a certain degree, her being so obsessed with him. And he loves her so much
also,
still
he
wants her he wants to work through the problems.
You can also look at the title of the movie of Obsessed, and it's actually he's obsessed with her.
100%, which is where maybe the ending makes a lot of sense. He loves her so much and is obsessed with her so much, he kills himself over killing her. I do like also, and it fits the character, who's too big of a pussy to shoot himself in the head.
Which made me think of the Lonely Island song Like a Boss, when he goes to shoot himself and he's like, I'm too big of a pussy to do it. Like, yeah, you fucking loser.
Yes,
you did this.
yeah.
You did this to the person that you love, even though you don't truly know who she is.
Yep.
And also, do you have that weird Hansel and Gretel story, the poem that she tells at the party, of she truly looks at him as if they're brother and sister. So all of this stuff that there's cracks that she's in there. She's somewhere in there, but she's not able to get out. of she is dealing with this torture the entire time that they're together.
Yeah, so the whole jumping off point, right? The one Wish Willow, he wishes her to love him more than anyone's ever loved anything.
But
something
he
to that
says
effect.
it in an angry fashion that almost makes it more aggressive than it should have been.
Yeah.
Anybody else in this fucking world.
And then the instant where it cuts back to her just standing like in front of the house was a great moment. And then it just slowly devolves to a greater and scarier and creepier obsession to the point where he now needs to reverse this or fix this, remedy this. So he goes back to get more One Wish Willows and is suggested to call the customer service line on the back. He does that, and the person is just kind of stringing him along on this phone call. And then he says, do you want to talk to her? Do you want to talk to Nikki? And you're like, what? And you hear screaming in the background, and you're like, hold on a second. What the fuck is going on here? It like added a whole new layer to this whole thing. It made it a little more sci-fi-ish, a little bit more, more than I thought it was. And I'm like, oh, well, now I'm really intrigued as to what is actually going on.
Because
here.
also at that point, and, granted, you should have picked up on this, not you, but him, should have picked up on this early on, that he wishes that Nikki loved him more than anyone else in the fucking world. Nikki, even at the beginning, that's not her loving him. That's a shell, and it's what he projects into her.
Yeah, so the real Nikki keeps poking through, and in the major moment is when he gets up to get out of bed at like 3 a.m, and she's like sleeping there, but the real Nikki says, "Please kill me."
And that's more toward the end of the movie, though. That's like end of second act.
Yes, yeah. That's before she bashes in Sarah's head on the steering wheel with the brick. And there's also a great little line of dialogue in there, and he's like, "What's so bad about being with me?" And she says, "I've never been with you." So you're like, oh, the real Nikki is not experiencing everything.
Once again, that's just a shell. That's just a body. That's not Nikki.
And there's an interesting thing that has come out now from Curry Barker, who said that he had Inde film 2 versions of the Nikki character. And one was that she was actually interested in Bear pre-Wish, and one where she's not. And then he meshed those 2 shots or characters, I guess, together for the final cut. And I do think that's a little bit... So the ending, I'm not loving. And also there are some inconsistencies with the Nikki character because of that. So I don't know if it was the best choice, but it also... Some of the confusion around what's going on is at play because of that, too.
But I also think that it would have... I feel like it might have soured people if at the end of the movie he ends up killing her. And granted, like, he's probably in trouble for all these murders.
Yeah.
But he's the one that gets to live now, and everybody else is now gone. It's a repercussion to his wish.
Yeah. No, there's something there with that. Because he decides ultimately, in order to stop this curse, he needs to kill himself. And, like, he's been a really bad guy at this point.
He's
like,
a bad guy.
He helps dump Sarah's body.
So he thinks.
Yeah. And couldn't bring himself to shoot himself. So when he finally overdoses, the shell Nikki is sobbing out of sadness.
Yeah.
And then when he finally expires, that switch flips. Real Nikki comes to and has this screaming, crying emotion because everything's kind of coming back to her, or some of it's coming back to her, and she's seeing the scene in front of her there. And that's a great moment for sure, and that's where the movie leaves you.
I also love in that final scene where she puts on all of Sarah's clothes. She draws tattoos all over herself. And then also, I think New Rockstar pointed this out because I didn't pick up on it at the movie. It looks like she scalped her friend and put her hair on.
Oh, yeah, you might be right. Yeah, you're right, because she's got Sarah's body propped up in the bedroom there, too. It's just really fucking crazy and creepy.
Yeah.
And I just kept coming back to, while viewing it, why the fuck doesn't he kill her? And it's because he's still so obsessed with her.
Yeah.
You know? That's the obsession with her causes him to kill himself instead of killing her.
New Rockstar also pointed out it would have been funny if when his buddy wished for the $1 billion, because money weighs a lot of money, it weighs a lot if it had crushed him and killed him.
That was an unbelievable scene, too. Like, that it takes you out of it for a little bit, but because those 2 characters are still locked in, it brings you right back in. his friend, he has him wish, Cooper Tomlinson fellow there, Ian, wants him to wish for something that will help break this curse. And instead he wishes for $1 billion.
Yeah, give me $1 billion.
And then money just starts raining down on them. And the face that Bear gives was fucking great in that scene. That was awesome.
So the one last note here that we have on the movie is a theory that has been floating around social media. Now, in the movie, he does eat a cat sandwich.
He doesn't eat a cat poop sandwich. He eats an actual cat sandwich made for him because he's her little food critic.
Right. But can you tell me what the theory is?
Yeah, so the cat theory, Goo, is right around the moment that he makes the wish that Nikki loves him more than anyone's ever loved anything, whatever the exact phrase was. He finds out his cat is dead. He gets home, his cat is dead on the floor. And the cat theory states that essentially Sandy the cat, that soul has entered Nikki's body and consumed her body, and that becomes the shell personality. She stalks him like a cat does, moves really weird like cats can. She's like lingering in the corners and waits for him in the doorway. She's leaving gifts for him. So I don't think that's exactly what's going on.
All over the floor.
I think that's overthinking, and it's certainly convenient. Like there's some things there, but it's an interesting theory to think about. I don't think that's what's happening.
I don't think that's the case. And the only reason why I kind of like it is because when she gives him the cat sandwich, she says, what's the culprit? And then she puts -cat.
Yeah.
And you might read it as like, oh, she's telling him it's a cat, or is she signing it?
Yeah.
I'm a cat.
Yeah, really, the shell's name is Cat.
Yeah. Like, meow, I'm a cat.
Yeah, I think this is a discussion that we'll continue to have as the year goes on of what truly was transpiring in Nikki's head and what Nikki was feeling. But there are some great moments in here in this movie that scare the shit out of you, but then those low-level ones where she's like, kill me, please.
Yeah.
And then that conversation he has with Sarah in the car where you're anticipating Nikki coming and then bashes her skull in with the brick.
It was his fault.
Yeah. There's 3 or 4 really great moments in this movie that scare the shit out of you, really creep you out. That's like the best moments of Hereditary with that. This also does really, really well.
Let's get into MacSack.
And MacSack could be anything. It could be a boat. And Mac, we just watched a movie all about a wish.
It's true.
It's my wish.
It's my wish for you.
I guess I'm going to ask you, Mac, what do you believe are the wishes that are used the most in movies and television?
The money one is an obvious one, right? The money one.
Yep.
A lot of times there's rules where you can't wish someone to love you, which they don't do in here. He wishes her to be well, I guess he does love me more than usually that's not allowed.
But that wasn't
Usually
Robin Williams' genie, though.
Yeah,
that was a rule with the genie.
Usually wishes in magic, you can't wish someone to love you. But you can wish for things that they might love, like money and status and that sort of thing. You can wish to be a prince, like Prince Ali.
Prince Ali, fabulous, Ali,
That's probably a good one. Status and money. What's a third one?
All right, so
World
I
hunger?
have here Google AI overview.
Mm-hmm.
I typed in most wished upon wishes in movies.
Sure, yeah.
Growing up. So I want to be older. I want to be a grown-up. Or when you're an adult, I want to be a kid again.
Yeah, you get like the 13 going on 30 swap
17 again.
Yeah.
Matthew Perry is Zac Efron.
Yeah.
Rewriting reality or the past. So altering the past. You have Superman who turns the world around. Or you have the butterfly effect.
Yep. By the way, I've mentioned it before on this podcast. I don't know the last time I have. The butterfly effect, the theatrical cut, it's fine. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I need you, anyone that likes time travel and time warping type movies and stories, watch the butterfly effect director's cut. It's so good. It fundamentally changes your understanding and viewing of the movie. It's fucking great.
Erasing your existence to see how everyone else's lives would be without you.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Changing the world. Shrek. You're like, what if me and Fiona never met?
Yep. Yeah, so that would be a good one, right? And it would erase heartbreak. That'd be a good one. I wish I never met so and so.
Bruce Almighty.
Okay. Yep, that's a good one.
He's got the powers of Bruce Almighty.
Yep.
How about this one? The devil comes to you. I want your soul. You can get whatever you want. And then Brendan Fraser says, I want all these things, and you're going to take every one of these literally.
Yeah.
And then changing lives. So, like, I'm going to Freaky Friday you.
Yeah. Goo, here's a question for you.
Mm-hmm.
If we were to remake Bedazzled today,
Yes.
who would play Elizabeth Hurley? Would it still be Elizabeth Hurley?
Elizabeth Hurley still does look great. Inde de Armas.
That was who I was thinking of. Yep, that'd be perfect. She's got a tantalizing accent, and she looks unbelievable.
Because you also need that, you need that look.
Yeah.
And I don't think someone like a Sydney Sweeney could have like that angry, like, I'm going to slap you around look.
Yeah, I'd like to see it, though.
And then, one of the biggest things, though, is always be careful what you wish for. But, yeah, those are all the wishes, man. But let me ask you this, Mac. If I gave you one wish, a Wish Willow, what would you wish for?
I'd probably wish for $1 billion.
I think money, right?
Yeah.
Because, like,
we're old enough in this life where we have a decent amount of experiences. We have some great family members, loved ones. I think primarily what you and I need is money.
You know what's funny is that someone said to me the other day, they're like, oh, you're still doing that podcast with Mac, right? And I'm like, yeah. Like, you must make pretty good money off of that. And I'm like, you'd think.
You'd think.
You'd think, right? You'd think that we're making a little bit of money off of
Yeah,
this.
I've had that similar conversation, and I'm like, no, we just do it because we like talking to each other. We don't get as much.
And maybe someone else
socially.
is making money and no one's telling me, but who knows?
Right. Maybe we signed a bad deal and our agent is cleaning up.
And kind of like some of these people in this movie that aren't really getting a ton of money from Obsession.
Which, by the way, I understand their gripe that this movie is making hundreds of millions of dollars and they're each getting like $2,000 from their original contracts. However, they also would get paid if this movie sucked.
Yeah,
and didn't make any money.
They signed a contract.
Yeah.
They signed the contract. Like I'm not crying for them because I feel like
maybe it'd be nice if you could get it writing. You get 1% of future.
You should have
earnings,
asked for you should have asked for
it's
points.
Never going to happen.
Should have asked for points.
Yeah.
I also I feel like Curry Barker and the lead actress, they're gonna get more roles and they're gonna get paid.
Yeah, Curry Barker's going to use the exact same people he used for this movie, and so your next one. Yes, you would love money right now. You'd love money like Mac and Goo would love money. But your next one, you're going to get a lot of money to do that same role and probably work less because they're going to hire more people.
I also read a quote from Carl Anthony Towns the other day.
Sure. Cat.
Yeah. He said that in the city of New York, being respected is almost more important than money. And I said, you're a fucking idiot. You can buy respect.
I can't live in the city of New York unless I have money.
Yeah. Dude, you make $50 million a year.
Yeah, right.
Would you like to trade that for the respect that I have?
Yeah, so maybe he's like, I'll make $20 million and have respect. Sure, I'd love $20 million in respect as well.
I just want money, man. That's all I want. Oh, you know what else I would wish for? Like a more manageable dick. This one's too big.
And then I'll add on my wish. I'll take what you're chopping off. I'll take your extra.
So you guys are sharing this Wish Willow, and your wish is that you're willing to give some of your inches over here to this guy.
Let's combine the two hogs, and then we'll cut it in half, and that'll be, you get the same size
like a Chinese
hog.
finger trap. Inde de Armas comes to us as the devil, and she says, okay, I'm going to get you guys paid for that podcast.
Yeah.
You get one wish. Do you want money? No, we're actually looking to swap a couple inches back and forth.
We take the mean of our hogs, and then we both get that.
I don't know who'd play the gentleman in Bedazzled 2, the remake, but you'd have to
Jacob
once again.
Elordi, maybe.
Oh, I was going to say he's too much of a hunk, but Brendan Fraser at the time was a pretty big hunk.
I don't know if Elordi has the comedic chops, actually.
You need some funniness. Adam Sandler. What do you mean? All right, whatever, man. Where can the folks find us?
You can find us on Instagram and Twitter, X, as @Mac and Goo Podcast. Every other platform, we are Mac &Goo. Mac, Shift 7 Goo. That includes Facebook, Stitcher, TuneIn, CastBox, Spreaker, Google Play, iHeartRadio. We're on Spotify, more importantly, Apple Podcasts. Get on there, rate, review, subscribe, 5 stars. Maybe one of these days in an alternate timeline, we will get you a Mac and Goo t-shirt given to us by the folks over at Watertown Sportswear. That's Watertown Sportswear, 34 Mount Auburn Street in Watertown. WatertownSportswear.com, expert screen printing and embroidery.
tpublic.com, merch. Check us out at the end of the week for most likely a news dump. I know you're not going to see Disclosure Day by the time that it is released.
I'm not going to see Disclosure Day for weeks, maybe months.
I'm not sure you have to see it.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you for
I
that
don't need,
confirmation.
I really like small portions of the movie.
Tapas. You like the tapas of the movie.
I liked the disclosing in the movie.
I was onto this from the beginning. Now, you may call me a pessimist. The minute we saw this trailer, I'm like, this movie's not going to be good. It's not going to be good.
Everything surrounding the story of how we get to the disclosing, I could have done without.
Yeah. Once we finish this, can you spoil the movie for me?
I will. Yeah.
All right. Thank you.
All right. So, Tuesdays are Goose Days. I abuse kangaroos. Tim Burton. You got to say bye.
Bye. I was too excited about the Disclosure Day spoiler.
Please flip the cassette over to side B to continue the adventure.
Now it's time for Girls Jumping on Worms.